that is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of episode 20 of Hardest Part of the Ring. This is the podcast where usually 4 friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling, but on this occasion 2 of us got together with Spike Trivet to discuss all sorts of good stuff. Thank you so much to everybody who got in touch with us yesterday to let us know what they thought of the episode. We got loads of good feedback. It seems that everybody really enjoyed what Spike had to say. Today we are going to carry on with that chat. We're going to talk a little bit about Anarchy Pro Wrestling, Riptide Wrestling, and Spike's plans for the future. So here it is, the second part of the Hardest Part of the Ring interview with Spike Trivet.
Maybe look at that strong zero and the... Oh my God! Oh God, that was the edge of the ring!
Okay, so we've touched a little bit on progress, and I'm sure we can maybe come back to that a little later and talk about your matches with Drew Parker and the match you've got coming up soon. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about Anarchy Pro. They're a promotion that I sort of became aware of on Twitter a few months ago, and it seemed like they've been doing some pretty good things and sort of similar to Riptide, managing to book some really big names and putting together some really impressive looking matches. But of course, you are their champ.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah. So you became champion on 15th of February, I believe, at My Bloody Valentine. I haven't seen any Anarchy Pro. I'd like to. Hopefully I'm going to maybe get up there and see a show at some point.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, how was that? You took the title from Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah, that was pretty mental, really. Like, I'm still pretty overwhelmed by it myself.
Okay.
You know, I'm still pretty overwhelmed by it. I'm incredibly honoured and like extremely happy and excited for the future about it. You know, earlier in the interview, I said, you know, I think Spike's really good because he's malleable. Like, you can kind of put him anywhere. You know, I think that's what's really good. That's why I'm very proud about him, is that, you know, like, you can put him at Riptide and he's got a place there, and then you can put him at a place like Anarchy because he's obviously the opposite of Anarchy, isn't he?
Yeah,
you know, like,
perfect.
That's not what he is. You know, he's the opposite of what Anarchy is about. You know, not just the promotion, but also the concept of, you know, just the concept of Anarchy itself. Yeah, but that was pretty mental, really. Like, they said that was going to happen, and then like a couple of things happened on the day. Like, you know, Jimmy hurt himself, or got hurt like 2 days beforehand, hurt his knee, and then for whatever reason, Paul Robinson couldn't make the show, and I was meant to face him. And then I got a call from the promoter, and I was like, when I said to her, well, do we want to change it? Like, you know, do you want to do the title change another time? And she was like, no, everything's booked around you being the champion. So, like, we need to do it today. And I was like, okay, so what do you want to do? She was like, you may have to do 2 matches, but you're definitely going to have to do the barbed wire death match. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Yeah. So you were due to do the barbed wire death match with Paul Robinson, or was that always going to be?
I was due to do a Falls Count Anywhere with Paul Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
And I was meant to get the briefcase, and then later that night, I think I was meant to cash it in. I think that was the plan.
Okay.
And then it changed, and then about 2 hours beforehand, it was like, you know, we'll probably have to do the Falls Count Anywhere and then the barbed wire death match.
Yeah.
And then, like, Paul wasn't able to come, and they were like, okay, so it's just going to be the barbed wire death match. And then we put together a little segment where I came in and cashed it in on Jimmy because Jimmy was injured, which was even better because obviously everybody hated me so much more for that, didn't they?
Yeah, perfect. Because he was their first champion, right?
Well, because he was their first champion. He's Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also a huge honor for me because, like, Jimmy's my favorite wrestler, and he's a person that I have, like, a huge amount of respect for, and he's always pretty willing to, like, give me feedback and give me advice. And if he's in the building, he's one of the first, if not the first person I'll go to for advice. And it was, it's a tremendous honour for me. And I think any wrestler, any young wrestler, a British wrestler as well, but it's a tremendous honour for me to do that and to work with him. And now obviously I've got a match coming up with him and Clint Margera, so I'm incredibly excited about it. And I'm just really humbled by the whole thing. It's just a really humbling experience. It's just, because it's a dream, I'm not, this is going to make me sound like such a ponce, but I came home and sat on my bed next to my girlfriend and held the belt in my hand and I'd had a drink after the show and I just held it and I just was a bit teary and I was like, I've done it. I've not accomplished everything I want to accomplish and I'm certainly nowhere near where I want to, but I'm just I've got a belt, and I was like, I can't believe this has happened.
Yeah, amazing. Did you make your girlfriend sleep on the sofa and the belt took her place in the bed that night?
Yeah. She actually kicked me off and slept with the belt.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. She wasn't very happy, but she was, she watched the match and she was like, I can't believe you just did that to me. Which is funny. But I'm just really excited for the future of that and to see where it goes and just learn and just have good matches. I'm a firm believer that the best way to learn is to be thrown in at the deep end.
Yeah.
It's like they say, the best way to learn French is to go to France and not know any French and then live there.
Yeah, definitely.
The best way to be a good wrestler is to be thrown in the deep end and know in your heart that you can hold your own. Or try to hold your own, at least.
Obviously, Anarchy Pro is well known for, they have a lot of hardcore matches and the sort of more adult side. When it comes to that kind of thing, what do you get out of that? Is that perverted enjoyment on your part, or is it just part of the job? Or I
don't know. I don't know. I really wanted to get into it. I really wanted to get to death matches and hardcore matches and stuff. I just think it's a really cool image. Aesthetically, I just think it's an awesome image. I just think a posh boy who's got a propensity for serious violence.
Yeah, that's quite terrifying, actually.
Yeah, there's something really terrifying about it. There's something overly really psychotic about it. Yeah. And I think it's surprising, and I think it's quite an interesting niche there for me because it's for the most part it's quite a grungy scene. And that's not said with judgment. It's just that's just an observation. It's very
true.
It's very kind of ripped denim and safety pins, and it's kind of gothy or grungy or all that kind of stuff. And I think there's a really interesting idea there for a posh well-to-do, well-dressed young man who, when pushed, can be extremely violent. And I'm really excited to explore that side of him because why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you approach the hardcore matches in a different way than you would say a normal match?
Well, I've only done 2.
Okay.
So I've only done 2. So the way I approach them, so luckily I've only done 2, and one of them was a barbed wire death match, and that was with Clint Margera. The next one is I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a 50,001 thumbtacks match is the next one.
Yeah.
With Clint
March
Margera.
21st.
Yeah, March 21st. Please come see it. It's going to be so good. There's some such good talent on there as well. With Jimmy and Clint. So the way that I approach them currently is to shut up and listen and stay calm. And not stay calm as in I'm going to get hurt, but just stay calm as in just pay attention, listen, learn, and pick it up that way. That's how I approach them currently, because I'm in there with the best. So I'm being it's an amazing platform. I'm literally being put in there with the best to do a match that they are veterans at.
Yeah.
So
do you practice by going to a DIY store and just smashing loads of fluorescent tubes over your head?
I have done that.
And you're now banned from B&Q.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Lifetime ban.
But I have done that. I have gone to shops and just picked up something and hit myself in the head with it and been yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, could do about 5 of those.
I'll do about 3 of those, stuff like that. And then but the worst thing is sometimes I remember I did a match with the OJMO, who's really cool, and I ended up buying these silver bowls, and I was hitting myself, and my girlfriend was there, and I was hitting myself in the head with them, and they were making such a huge noise. and she was like, "Stop it!" And like it was like, "This is brilliant, isn't it?" Like smacking her head. But and it didn't really hurt. I was like, "Amazing!" And then I gave it to the OJMO, and obviously like we're like fired up and in the match and stuff, and then he hits me with it, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't. Oh god." Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
obviously I was being really gentle to myself.
Yeah,
and I was like,
you can't help
this
but be gentle to yourself.
This was silly. I have done that. Yeah.
So obviously you've got the I think it's 5001 Thumbtack Death match, March 21st. But then you've got your no DQ match against Drew Parker, which should be a bit of a a bit of a brawl. That's Progress live at the Dome on March 14th.
Yeah, man, I'm
so you're definitely getting a taste for it.
Yeah, I am. Like I'm really enjoying it. Like I think it's also like a really good way to find legitimacy. I think that's a big thing for me, because I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a cowardly heel in wrestling. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But for me, I think that like there's more space, and I give Spike Trivet more longevity in the world of professional wrestling if I can give him legitimacy.
Yeah.
You know, because there's only so many times that I can have a match, do a little sequence, have them get the best of me and roll to the outside and try and run away.
Yeah.
So I think that's just an amazing way to like find a little bit of legitimacy and have people be like, you know, he's not, you know, in the world of wrestling, for them to be like, you know, I mean, he'll probably hurt you. Do you know what I mean? Like he's going to hurt you and he's going to really enjoy it. But I'm so excited to work with Drew. Like I worked with him at another chapter show in Manchester, and we did the MPS, which is obviously where we set it up. So like he beat me and then I bottled him.
Yeah, saw that.
You know, which is really awesome. Which is a great like way to set it up, and you know, and that was Progress's idea as well, which is lovely because it's, you know, it means that they've seen me, they've seen him, and something in their heads have gone, that's cool. But it's just an amazing opportunity. Like he's lovely and insane. So like it. You know, I'm kind of. Yeah, he said to me the other night after Riptide, he was like, "You're low key." He's like, "You're low key nuts." People know I'm nuts, but no one knows that you're nuts. So we're going to show everybody that you're nuts.
Yeah, exactly. That's all going to come out. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and John, I think we should go to Die Die My Darling, the Anarchy Pro Show.
Please come.
Yeah,
let's do it. Okay, we should probably move on to Riptide. Just obviously, you know, we're local to Riptide, so we've been to most of their shows, and you've been to everyone, right? You've been ever present, basically.
I've been on every show, yeah, which is awesome. Yeah,
definitely the biggest heel in the company, and I mean, you've got to guess. We're guessing. You may well know, but we've got to guess that you're one of the front runners to become the first ever Riptide champion when they have the tournament in a few months' time.
Maybe.
I mean, how maybe how are you finding that, sort of being such a prominent figure for them, and getting to do, you know, you've done a couple of really cool video promos recently in the lead up to the last event. Must be nice to be you know, one of their big stars.
Yeah, again, I mean, the thing is, like, I really am just so humbled by the whole thing. Like Riptide's an amazing company. Like I get on really well with Josh and Tom, and the whole team is just lovely. It's a great platform, and those guys have really let me spread my wings, and they've given me control over him and allowed me to say the things I want to say, and allowed me to learn by making mistakes, and you know, because those guys are new to the game as well. Yeah. You know, so they're kind of learning as they go along, and they do learn because they're hungry to learn as well. They try so hard, and they look after the talent so well, and you know, and they just want to put on the great shows, and they want to look after their fans and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. It's sort of charming in a way, from going from the early shows to where we are now, seeing how they, you know, initially there may be a couple of mistakes here or there, and it comes to various different things, but how they're just improving and getting better in every single way.
Absolutely.
It's really cool to be a part of from the start.
Absolutely, and their commitment to like accessibility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things like that, like their commitment to accessibility, the fact that like, I'm personally not a vegan, but the fact that everything is vegan, but also everything's also delicious. You know, like there's nothing anyone can, you know, no one can complain about that. Like, and that's the thing. Like I often say, like, Chuck Mambo and Candy Floss are two of the biggest baby faces in Riptide, but you've got to argue that one of the biggest baby faces of Riptide is Riptide. They're such a. I mean, they've got a tuck shop, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
They're just great, and the fans are great, and the fans really get it, and that was the first time that I felt like the fans really embraced me, and I was able to take a real bet on myself, like I was able to really take a bet on myself. I was able to look at myself and go, I can do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can do this. I can say these things and it'll work. I was always like really like confident in my ability to talk. Recently, I'm trying to work towards not swearing so much, which is hard when you get really fired up.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'm trying to work towards that. But they've just given me like the booking every month and stuff. They've just taken a bet on me, and they've also they've just taken a bet on my friends, as well. Like, my circle of friends in wrestling, because obviously I live in the South. Like our circle of friends, like that's a place where we're all at, most of us. We all will go there. We have a great time. Brighton's amazing. Like, I'd really like to move there one day. It's just a great place. And I like Riptide will, every place that has given me an opportunity will, but Riptide will always have a real special place in my heart. Riptide, Anarchy, and Progress, in particular, will always be the places that like have a real place in my heart. Progress because that's where I started, and that's one of my ultimate goals. Riptide and Anarchy because they gave me a place to spread my wings and they took a bet on me.
Yeah, they're giving you the chance, and it seems you're paying them back.
I guess so. I mean, all I can do is my best.
Yeah, no, it's going well.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you think so. Like,
oh, definitely. I do have this thing where I find it hard to, when there's a really good heel, I do hate them. So when I really did hate you, and I think Sam and John maybe were the first to be like, oh, I love him, he's great, and because you're such a good heel, and I'm just like, no, hate him. But I think the reason why I did hate you is because you were so good at your job, and it's interesting to hear. Obviously, I didn't know about your background, but it makes sense that you've got that performance background because obviously your promo work and the videos you've done, and the even just eating that apple on that last video just was absolutely perfect. Got everybody so riled up.
Yeah, people hated that, didn't they? Like, did people hate that? I don't know. Like, but it's nice because like that was I'd always had that image, like not of eating an apple, but like, I'd always just had this image of like being interviewed and just sort of like obnoxiously eating nuts. Do you know what I mean? Or obnoxiously just eating something that's just really like, people chew like
oh, it's annoying.
Sex, like, so Jack Sexsmith did an interview recently where he spoke about me, and he said that like Spike is just the embodiment of everything that the guy who plays Spike hates. Right. And he kind of is, like, which makes finding material really easy.
Yeah.
So like I hate it when people chew. I hate it. Really annoys me. Like, just eat with your fucking mouth closed, you animal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that, and just like the things that make people real are their little idiosyncrasies. Like those little things, and there isn't really. I mean, it's a bit annoying, but there isn't really like an objective reason why I or like many other people feel like a really intense burning hate when somebody like eats something a little bit loudly. But we do. Yeah. Like we do feel like that. We do feel that really grinds our gears, so to speak. And it's trying to find those things. That was funny. Like that was just literally like I didn't even plan that, to be fair. Like there was just a bowl of apples in front of me. I
wonder if Josh subconsciously planned it himself.
I don't think they did. I think they're just
might get some apples in.
I think they're actually just his parents' apples. I think they're just his parents. Like I think that's actually just one of their 5 a day.
Yeah. That
I ruined. That I took away. But
yeah. Well, I'm very thankful that you haven't eaten throughout this. You've done well. You drank a bit of coffee at the start, but
sorry about
that.
No, and I'm quite buzzed now. I drank like a whole cafetiere of that.
Yeah. Ah, brilliant. So, one other thing I just wanted to ask about Riptide. Obviously, we had the big build-up towards a match with Zack Sabre Jr. on the Friday night.
And you
didn't
didn't
to
get
wrestle
it.
him. We
No.
didn't get it, and obviously that worked well. That was excellent heel work, etc., etc. The storyline worked well, and you got Ridgeway in there, and they had a great match. But on a personal level, I mean, did you? Well, you might not want to say or be able to say, but you knew that was going to be the case all along, or were you gutted not to get to face him yourself, or is that something that you think you'll be ready for a bit later on? Or
I don't know really. Like I feel like I'd obviously love to face him. I'd obviously love to wrestle him. But I'd obviously love to wrestle him, but I think I like to try and look at everything as an opportunity. Yeah. And I think if I was like uber super fighty babyface and I couldn't fight him for whatever reason, I think I'd be like, oh, but the opportunity for, the idea of being like, we're going to bill you against Zack Sabre Jr., but you're going to refuse to wrestle him. To me, that's an opportunity for me. Again, like all that does is just put longevity on me. It just gives me space. It gives me like more material. It gives me stuff to say. It gives me a certain way to feel. Later down the line, maybe he can beat me up. Maybe I can wrestle him. And also, like the thing is, as I said, about like getting legitimacy and things like that. I mean, I definitely think that it would be a good idea for me to have a tiny bit more legitimacy before I take on the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah. I wondered if that had maybe come across, if you'd thought of that. Because, I mean, obviously, totally no disrespect at all, but I did think, oh, wow, this is huge. This is huge for Spike Trivet because, he's fairly new. Only been going for a couple of years, and then this is bloody Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, Zack's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I met him backstage and we talked and stuff. And I have no doubt that if and when that time comes around, because I think it will come around. Like there's no, there's been so much that match has been called for such a long time. Like people have been saying, like, people have tweeted at Riptide, they've tweeted at Progress, they've tweeted at so many places being like, let's see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Spike Trivet. And mainly it's actually like, let's see Zack Sabre Jr. beat up Spike Trivet.
Yeah.
So that want and need for that to happen is not going to go away. I think I'd like to hone my craft. I think, personally as a performer, I'd like to hone my craft a little bit more before I wrestle him. But at the same time, Darryl Allen at the Projo used to be like, I used to say, like, oh, I want to debut when I'm ready. And he goes, if you think about it that way, you'll never be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just got to get stuck in.
Sometimes you just got to get stuck in. But I wasn't disappointed by the situation. I thought it was a good situation. I think, again, people can connect with it, like within 2 seconds. Like I had all these like reasons as to why I would say I wasn't going to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. But within like 2 seconds of saying that like I wasn't going to wrestle him, the whole place was chanting coward at me.
Yeah.
So
it worked really well.
There's stuff there for them. Guys, could I just have 2 seconds? I've had a cafetiere of coffee and I really need to go for a wee.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Go for it.
Time me.
No, I don't need a helping hand. I need some toilet paper. And what kind of a weirdo follows somebody into the bathroom? That's what the golden truth is all about.
Yeah, so actually, one of the funny things on that night, just before your match, during, I think it was the first half of the show, Spike, I could see you, where I was standing, I could see up on the balcony, I could see you sitting there. And I thought to myself, oh God, I wonder if he's absolutely shitting it because he's about to have this match with Zack Sabre Jr. And obviously, that didn't happen in the end or whatever. But it just made me think, just generally, do you suffer from nerves before? Obviously, you've got your performance background. Is that something that's helped you?
I get incredibly nervous.
Yeah.
I get incredibly nervous. I think backstage I'm really I think I'm really annoying because I'm like, can we go through it again?
Yeah.
People are like, really? I'm like, yeah, please, can we just go through it one more time? So dude, I get incredibly nervous. Like I have to go to the toilet front and back like 3 or 4 times before I go out.
Amazing. That's like me before this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and during. Yeah, man, I get incredibly nervous. And I think if I ever stopped getting nervous, I'd stop.
Yeah.
I think I have this thing where, like, just before I go out, I'll kind of, I don't know why, I'll scream. And I think it's just because it's just the best feeling ever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, man, I get totally nervous. I get terrified.
Yeah. That is natural.
But it's an amazing feeling.
Mm. And then obviously the adrenaline kicks in. And how about afterwards? Are you someone who is then high as a kite for 3-4 hours afterwards, or do you crash once the adrenaline's gone?
No, I get quite high and I carry on into the early hours of the morning just on a high. But if it doesn't go well, then I'll be really hard on myself for a bit.
Mm.
You know, like if it doesn't go well, then I'll really eat myself up about it.
Yeah.
But it's an individual situation. Like no situation is the same. But the first thing I want is feedback.
Who do you tend to go to for that feedback?
Whoever watched it. So if I can, I'll ask someone to watch the match. Like my go-tos tend to be Eddie Dennis. Obviously the promoter was the promoter happy. Eddie Dennis, Jimmy Havoc. Like if Jimmy Havoc's there, I'll always go to him. I'll always specifically ask him to watch my match if he's available. And he hasn't yet said no. So which is nice.
That's good.
But he does say no at first, and then because he's funny.
Because he's Jimmy. Yeah.
He'll be like, no, mate. I'll be like, Jimmy, can I ask you a question? He'll be like, no, I'm busy. Because he now knows. He knows that I'm going to ask him to watch my match. But he does also just my friends. You know, I'll ask Mambo, I'll ask TK Cooper. You know, I'll just be like, what do you think? Because I respect their opinions.
Mm.
I'll ask Sexsmith a lot of the time what he thought. Yeah, but my main thing is to find out, and also if I spot that there's someone in the because at Riptide there's a balcony, obviously.
Yeah.
That's where all the workers sit, and sometimes I'll look up there during the match and I'll see who watched it, then I'll go and find them. I had a match on the second day of Riptide, and I noticed that Travis Banks was up there watching it. So I got some feedback from him. You know,
yeah, it must be a nice perspective up there, actually. I was thinking you seem to get a lot of the workers, but also some other people who have obviously just come down specifically to watch it, even when they're not involved on the show, which is cool.
Yeah, which is super cool. So it's really feedback, and then after that, it's sort of I have to be really careful though, because that's when I'll usually go and get a beer, and really I need to eat and have water.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'll forget, and I won't just forget. I'll be like, oh, I deserve a beer now, and I'll be like, well, yeah, but you probably should warm down and then have some water.
Yeah, rehydrate a little bit
and have something reasonable to eat. So I have to tell myself to do that, and sometimes I don't always remember, but I try.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, we'll start to think about wrapping things up a little bit. But so, in terms of your future moving forward, initially, what have you got coming up over the next couple of weeks? I think basically we've touched on the main thing.
Yeah, I've got over the next couple of weeks. So what's the date today? So it's the 6th of March. So March has been really good actually. I've got I've had Riptide. This Saturday I've got North Wrestling, and it's me and Landed Gentry versus England's Hardest Men and TK Cooper.
Yes, I saw that. I saw the poster for that.
Yeah, and then Sunday I've got 40B Wrestling, and that's also against TK Cooper, which is cool because I've never wrestled TK Cooper before. And then I specifically was like, if I could wrestle somebody at 40B, I'd really like it if it could be TK Cooper.
Cool.
And then I ended up just being booked against him the day before anyway.
Perfect.
And then I've got Unpro on the 24th. I've got Anarchy on the 21st. I've got another couple of things coming up. It's been quite busy. It's been quite busy, really. And then and the year's kind of starting to pad out a little bit, which is really nice.
I bet. And I bet in a strange way, that whole the outrage at Progress probably helped to get your name out there a little bit. A little bit more.
Which is absolutely bonks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it did, which is pretty mental, really. Considering that there was a point where I was sort of sat around thinking, "Oh, I'll never work again."
Yeah.
And then it got my name out there, and now I can use it. But I also think the thing about that is that people did realise that I was kind of sorry.
Yeah.
Totally. you know.
Yeah.
So there you
And they'll
go.
realise that now. They'll realise it
Yeah.
after listening to this as well,
Yeah.
for sure.
Thanks, guys.
And then just to go for a classic question, have you got any sort of dream opponents? Any guys, you know, not even necessarily UK based? Anyone who you'd love to get in the ring with?
You know what? I just want to do it all, really.
Okay.
Like, I just want to do it all. There's no like one person that I particularly like. I really wanted to wrestle Jimmy. Like I really, really wanted to wrestle Jimmy, and now I'm doing it in a 3-way 5,001 tax match. I'd really like to wrestle Jimmy 1-on-1. I mean, there's loads of people. Like, I'd love to wrestle Kip Sabian. You know, he's somebody I think we'd have a really good match.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd love to wrestle the Pasta 1-on-1. I'd love to wrestle Ridgeway 1-on-1. You know, there's loads of people. But they're steadily getting. You know, I'd love to wrestle Connor Mills again. You know, considering the last time I think we wrestled was like the best part of a year ago. But we've both come such a long way since then. It'd be good to think. You know what? There's one person I'd love to wrestle, and that's Maverick Mayhew.
Yes.
I've got a thing about me and Maverick are really good friends, and we've wrestled each other 1,000 times on camp shows, and
teacher versus student.
And we keep saying like, yeah, exactly. And we keep saying like, when is someone going to book this for real? Like, when are we going to be able to like really go at it? In terms of like bigger stars, like bigger people, those are my friends and people that I want to then. Jimmy's obviously like a big aim for me, but everything else is, I just want to be in the ring with people I can learn from. Because I'm a big advocate. I'm a big advocate for shut up and listen. And I really just want to be in the ring with people that I can just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want. And I don't really care who they are. I'm not really bothered. I don't like have any one person I want to wrestle more than the other. I just want to wrestle everyone.
Yeah, every match is a learning experience, I guess, no matter who it is.
But you know what the thing is as well, like, you know, it'd be good if people listened. Like, I kept people interested enough to listen to the 2 episodes. But you know, obviously the thing is another thing that I keep saying to myself is that every match is a blessing. Like, every show is a blessing. Like, I'm so lucky to be on the shows. I'm so lucky to be doing this because it is a dream. You know, like, so many people don't follow their dreams, or people don't recognize what their own dreams are. And I'm fortunate enough to have recognized it, and now I'm fortunate enough to be doing it. And for me, it means more as well, because it's just like I kept it at bay until I was 26. You know, so I kept it at bay for such a long time. So everything to me is a blessing. Like, wrestling's given me so much. Like, it's given me so many like amazing experiences, like amazing memories, like wonderful friends. It's literally just like, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So everything that happens now is just a bonus for me. I could have never won the belt. I could have never won the Anarchy belt and been like, I was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have had that and I would have been fine. But now it seems to be picking up, and that's wonderful. But I think that's really important to mention. It's literally a dream come true. And it's amazing to be in a position to be able to say that.
And now you're on Hardest Part of the Ring podcast as well. It's just, everything's going great for you.
Everything's just...
Oh, that's amazing. Really, really great way to end it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. As I said, must mean something's going right.
Yeah, no, definitely. How can people keep in touch, or, you know, follow you on social media?
All right. I very rarely do a plug, so let me...
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Sell yourself. I mean, we'll probably link to this on the episode notes and things, and on Twitter.
So you can find me. So please follow my stuff. You can find me on Twitter, Spike Trivet at Tyke Sprivet, which is where it's a name that I just did to pop my friends. You can find me on there. If you want to pick up any of my merch, you can find it at spiketrivet.bigcartel.com. I'm also on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram as well at... Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. There's probably not many Spike Trivets on Instagram, are there? So, like, if you just type that into Instagram, you'll find me. So, like, you follow my stuff, and I've got some new T-shirts coming out and stuff. So please get involved if you so wish. If you love to hate,
yeah,
If
Do
you're
it.
if you're a person who loves to hate, then I'm your man.
Ribcage first across the apron.
Boom. Spike Trivet, everybody. Are you a person who loves to hate? Because I think it's going to be pretty hard to hate that man now. Thank you so much, Spike, for coming on. Really great to chat to you, and hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Looking forward to seeing you at the next Riptide show, and hopefully we'll get up to see some Anarchy Pro shows at some point too. Please do get in touch and let us know what you thought of the interview. You can email us at hardestpartofthering@gmail.com or get in touch on social media at hardestpartpod. Next week we're back for our usual roundtable discussion about WWE pay-per-views. It's Fastlane. We'll also check the progress of our current Hardest Part of the Ring champion Rusev and see how he's getting on. I think we're recording that episode on Rusev Day actually, so yeah, that should be cool. Is that joke still funny? Yeah, let's go with yeah. Join us next week for that, and until then, thanks very much for listening. That was the Hardest Part of the Ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.